The views and opinions of the host and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Good yawning this morning and welcome back to Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, your station for fresh news, smart talk all day. It is Tuesday, the 12th of November, and you are on the clock with Erin, Greene. Now, I noticed that my producer didn't play any Junkanoo music this morning to start the show. Maybe that's because yesterday was Valley Boys Day. I appreciate my producer helping me to moderate myself. I want you all to notice that the Junkanoo community has taken this matter, this issue arising in the Valley Boys very seriously. And there's been like a gag in the community, and you do not see people in the community talking about this matter in a reckless manner. And I appreciate that, and I don't want to create a space where people pervert the course of justice just because they could talk. But I have a letter from the Valley Boys Junkanoo group led by Trevor Davis as interim chairman, Valley Boys Group NPO. It was published yesterday. It says, "Dear members, fans, and supporters, we are thrilled to share some encouraging news. Thanks to the strength of our shared commitment and dedication, we have successfully advanced one step closer to victory. Today marked a significant milestone as we secured approval in court to join the ongoing proceedings. The judge ruled in our favor, allowing us to become an official part of the action. With our successful application, we are fully engaged alongside the registrar and the Attorney General's office, a key move that brings us closer to achieving our goals. Our final court date is set for November 29th, 2024, where we will address critical matters regarding the injunction and the application for leave for the judicial review. This date represents an important opportunity to solidify our standing and continue advocating for the success we all believe in. Your support, encouragement, and belief in our mission have fueled our progress, and we look forward to moving forward with all of you by our side. Let's keep up the momentum as we work toward the victory we know is within reach. With gratitude and determination, sincerely, Trevor Davis, interim chairman, Valley Boys Group NPO." So that is the status update. The parties involved returned to court on November 29th, 2024. There are lots of stories in the paper today. There were lots of stories in the papers yesterday. I'd like to talk about most of them. The numbers to call, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259, and 242-300-5720 for Family Island residents. It is toll-free. I'm hoping I could get some Family Island residents to call in today, and here is why. Here's a story I want to read from yesterday's paper. It is the story about the rattlesnake, and I got a couple of questions after reading commentary from Bahamians and stakeholders last night. In yesterday's Tribune story, rattlesnake sighting in Eleuthera has authorities working to protect island. A rare sighting of a diamondback rattlesnake on Harbor Island, Eleuthera, has triggered long-term environmental monitoring as experts warn of the risks posed by the venomous non-native species. Authorities are intensifying efforts to safeguard residents and protect the island's fragile ecosystem. Kirkwood Forbes, a pest control expert with 30 years of experience, was among the first alerted to the snake's presence, receiving a video from a concerned client. Quote, "There was a diamondback. It's very venomous. You need at least 5 doses of anti-venom if he bites you to stay alive," Mr. Forbes warned, underscoring the serious danger. So, I followed a bit of commentary yesterday evening into the night, and I had some questions that I thought should be asked out loud in reference to this matter. In particular, it is presumed that it is most likely or more likely that this species of snake entered the country within a shipment of agricultural products, right? Within a shipment of agricultural products. But that presumption should not prevent us from interrogating further. The Harbor Island is a high-end tourist destination. High-end tourists can afford to travel with their pets. Is it possible that the snake entered the country as a part of a trip, a family trip, on a yacht, on a cruise ship, a charter ship, right? Is it possible that the snake entered the country with a person or a group of people? Now, after the story a couple of months ago that led to the discovery of and possibly illegal, just never know, magic mushroom retreat, right? As investigations into a serious matter revealed that potentially or allegedly someone was operating a magic mushroom retreat in the country, I don't think it's unreasonable to ask these questions. So the first question is, did someone bring the snake in, right, as a part of their cargo on their ship? They traveled with their snakes all the time, and the snake escaped. Is it possible that someone brought it in as a pet and was showing it off? Took it off a boat, took it to a residence, a park, it got out, and the authorities were not alerted? But is it possible that somebody is collecting these animals in order to harvest venom for the development of antivenom? Right? Like, we presume that it came in with agricultural products and supplies, but I think it's important that we explore every possibility and determine whether anything else is going on. I mean, we live in the modern world. And even before we were the modern world, we were pirates, Pimper's Paradise, we were a pirate haven, we were a wrecker's wonderwall. I mean, like, I just think it's important that we ask all of the questions and determine exactly what's happening. We don't want to see what happened in 2013 with the invasion of the cane toad. We don't want to see what has been happening from the early 2000s with the introduction of the red lionfish, which has just prolific birth rates. I mean, they just multiply and multiply. Anyway, it's interesting. I learned of the Bahamas Wildlife Enforcement Network, which is led by the Royal Bahamas Defense Force, and they are assessing and responding to this unusual wildlife threat. Quote, they are an interdisciplinary group, a multi-agency group that deals with these more strange wildlife issues, Dr. Ancelino Davis said. Dr. Ancelino Davis is a University of the Bahamas professor and founder of the Bahamians Educated in Natural and Geospatial Sciences Network, also known as Beings. Anyway, this is a very important story. It's an extremely important story, and it behooves us to demand that the government create and publish for public dissemination a policy statement and a strategy and instructions for what people are to do if they are bitten by a snake and they suspect it is a venomous snake. The text there says, listen, don't worry about the snake coming to Nassau because it wouldn't last 30 minutes on East Street. These are all important matters. Producer, I'm going to go to the phone line. Good morning, caller.
Hello, Erin.
Hi, good morning.
Hi, how you doing?
Good, thank you.
I think you said this snake thing is a very important subject, eh?
Well, it is because the snake was sighted on Harbor Island, right? And we have to think of the medical issues, that our family islanders have to deal with.
I hear what you're saying,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm trying to figure out which is important. A grandmother who gets discharged from the hospital as a nurse for taking a picture of her grandson, or the snake. Which one do you think is important?
Sir, sir. No, pause. Before you come on my show to berate me, right? Hold on, pause. Before you come on my show to berate me, let me remind you again. In the interest of not perverting justice, I measure my words and what I say on my show because just because I could speak to 1 million people every day doesn't mean I should say whatever I want. My personal professional policy is, even after hearing commentary on social media and from other news publications, right? I am going to wait until I have gathered sufficient information to have a cogent and sensible conversation on the airwaves that does not pervert the course of justice. That's my rule, right?
I understand your rules, and I understand you have to be very careful because you all are censored at the Guardian.
No, we are not.
You just can't say.
Producer, put it on pause. Put it on pause. Sir, you run the risk of not being able to call my show. We are not censored at The Guardian. There are those of us at The Guardian, right, that are committed to following the journalistic rules, even though we are not journalists, right? And some of us go beyond the rules in place to ensure that we do not pervert the course of justice when talking about high-profile issues, incendiary issues, issues that involve minors and young people, issues that involve abuse and violence. So do not suggest that people are being censored when they tell you clearly and plainly that they are trying to have a professional conversation, create a space for healthy conversation that sits within the scope of what is accepted legally and what is accepted socially, right? So do not come here and suggest there are things that our station has told us we cannot talk about. Some of us just have good sense and moderate ourselves so as not to be a part of the perversion of justice. Now we go back to the caller. There's a new caller. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Erin. How are you this morning?
Good morning. I am good, thank you.
That's nice to know. Talking about the snake on Harbor Island there, I think that is an extremely important topic this morning because that is a situation that can cause death to people and animals, and it's out of its territory.
And the people on the family islands are further away from the central medical system.
Exactly. As I say, it's a matter of life and death.
Yes.
For those persons, their children, their pets on that island. And like you said, I thought about the same thing that, you have a lot of persons that travel and because of their status in life, they are allowed to take their animals across borders. So it's possible that animal probably was or might have been someone's pet that got away. And knowing I would refuse to believe that was the truth because knowing that is a dangerous animal, I feel like they should have warned the authorities, so that's why I'm figuring if it got away and they didn't even notice as yet that it has gotten away from them.
Right, exactly.
It's like the king toad, popped up where? in a prestigious community. So how did that get here?
Right.
You know, no ship and stuff goes there besides personal boats. So, you know, these things, I guess the government need to look into places traveling. I think they need to start quarantining these pets, you know, and letting them leave these pets where they are.
Yeah.
You know, if they don't have someone, take it to a shelter.
I think
Because we can't have a second, because remember, I don't know if you remember, it was earlier this year or last year sometime, someone take a picture of a snake that stand up to them, and we were saying that it looked like
a rattlesnake. Yeah. I remember.
Yes. So I didn't even hear anything else about that, because I know of rattlesnakes. I grew up on the family island. We see them things all the time. My grandma used to call them foul snake and all kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen those things, but I've never seen one that stood up and square his head off at you like that.
I got you. Listen, let me go. I just missed another caller. I will encourage them to call back. But see, if we just rest, let's go to the next call. If we just rest with, it probably came in agricultural supplies, then the next sentence will be, we don't have enough customs agents to inspect every single box. It's impossible to police. But if we consider that it possibly came in as a pet or, you know, with a group of people, then we can look to ramping up our customs agents on islands and a policy that enables agents to inspect every boat. Anyway, let's go to the phone line. Good morning, caller. Thank you for your patience.
Good morning, Ms. Greene.
Morning.
I was just having a conversation about that recently.
Yes.
And I find it very alarming that that happened. You know, I was telling the individual, they asked me if I would jump in Lake Canada. I said I go up an island, I could jump out in the blue holes and don't be scared.
Mm-hmm.
But most definitely, I'm not going to jump in Lake Canada because I don't know what's in there. And I don't know that'll get. So those people out there would put anything in that water, I don't know, just for fun.
I mean, right, we have to consider that people are not as socially conscious as some of us and would see it as just a funny prank to introduce an invasive species to an environment like a lake.
Yes, man. So I wouldn't jump in there. I'd be scared because I don't know what in there. But I know in the blue hole.
Absolutely, sir. Thank you very much. I have a problem with jumping in water where I can't see the bottom. And after spending years at summer camps and going to the beach in the Bahamas, my first out-of-country summer camp trip to Florida at a lake, and then people must have thought I was the bougiest person in the world. I did not go in that lake, buddy. But thank you very much for your call. All right, I got a couple of texts here. And before I get to the text, let me just say this. I think I know the matter that the gentleman was alluding to. All of these issues are equally important, right? That's the point. All of the issues are equally important, but I need more information to be able to speak about the matter cogently. That's it, right? Good morning, Ms. Greene. You will be surprised to know what these people and containers are bringing to this country. We don't even know how much snakes there are, though. Let's be real. No one will have a poisonous diamondback rattlesnake as a pet to put themselves and their family at risk. Dear sir, let me remove that thought from your mind. Poisonous or venomous snakes can be kept safely. They are kept safely all throughout the world. That's not a problem. Responsible pet owners know how to secure their venomous and poisonous pets. Do accidents happen? They happen all the time. Can an accident happen on a boat? Sure, it could happen on the boat any time. But snake lovers, people who like snakes, people who study snakes, they don't see it as putting their families at risk necessarily. Another text. Good morning, all. Is there any proof that there was a snake? I live on Harbor Island, and I'm still waiting confirmation on whether the story is true. Unfortunately, the video lacked any landmarks that we can identify. Bahamian brown racists do have a hood and do stand up. Please don't go killing all the snakes. We need them to eat the rats. Okay, so from the story, we have a 30-year pest control expert indicating that they've identified it as a diamondback. The question of whether the video was actually recorded in Harbor Island, that's a question that I cannot answer. But when we say, please don't kill all the snakes because we need them to eat the rats, snakes have value and purpose without being functional for humans, right? Without providing a benefit for humans. They're part of the environment, the ecosystem. And I bet you remove the humans, the ecosystem will be fine. You remove the snakes, the ecosystem will collapse. Good morning, caller.
How you doing, Will?
I'm good, thank you, sir. How you do?
Okay. Now, the only problem with the snake is if the snake is pregnant.
Yeah.
Okay, so it means, it can't reproduce.
Yeah.
But it also means that the snake, it's got to be found and dissected.
Yeah. I mean, I appreciate what you're saying, yeah. And
anyway, have a good day.
Absolutely. Right. Maybe an investigation can you determine how recently a snake would have given birth through an autopsy, right? So we could determine the amount of resources we need to deploy to capture and identify all snakes. We go into a break. When we come back from the break, I forgot about Hurricane Oscar. Then I got a good Uncle Oscar and a good brother Oscar and a good nephew Oscar, and I forget all about Hurricane Oscar. When we get back from the break, we're going to talk about Hurricane Oscar and the potential for tsunamis. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. Guardian Radio 96.9 FM.
This November, the Nassau Guardian is celebrating 180 years. And we want to thank you, our loyal readers, for helping to make this one of the oldest newspapers in the region. We want you to be a part of our Vision Challenge giveaway promotion, beginning October 28th through November 22nd. All you need to do is find the hidden Nassau Guardian 180 Years logo, printed every day in the Nassau Guardian newspaper, and you could win prize money. Just purchase your daily Nassau Guardian newspaper every day, beginning Monday, October 28th. Find the 180th Nassau Guardian logo, cut out the page, mark the spot, write your name and phone number on that clipping, drop off your entries at our offices on Carter Street in Oakesfield, and every Friday, November 1st, November 8th, November 15th, and November 22nd, one drawing will take place. It's that simple.
Just sign in and have a seat, please. They'll call you in for your x-ray shortly.
That's why they call it a waiting room. You won't have that problem at Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center or Imaging at Grosvenor. We never schedule multiple appointments, so you'll be in and out in no time. And if your initial screening reveals a concern, our radiologist can conduct an alternative screening right then and there. Call 328-8157 to schedule an appointment at Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center or Imaging at Grosvenor today.
It turns out that there's more than one special gift to give that special someone this Christmas. Consumers are searching for the perfect presents and the right prices, so what better way than to place your products or services in the Nassau Guardian's Holiday Gift Guide? This year's Christmas shoppers will be sure to find that special something for everyone on their list. For an all-inclusive price, you can have your ads published twice in December in the Nassau Guardian's Holiday Gift Guide, in addition to 10, 15, and 30-second commercials, and not to mention a web ad on the Nassau Guardian's website. Advertising deadline is November 29th, remember. For more information, contact your sales agents or call the Nassau Guardian Advertising Department at 302-2300. That's 302-2300, and ask about our Holiday Gift Guide Media Bundle. You won't want to miss this opportunity. Ring in those holiday profits by placing an ad in the Nassau Guardian Holiday Gift Guide.
You try to rest, roll with the best. For all your printing needs, there ain't no one better, no. For posters and banners, magazines and flyers, for window decals, greeting cards and newsletters. No job too big and there's no job too small. You name it, we can print it. Just give us a call. Let Print Masters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
Hey man, long time.
Girl, what going on? I hear women in Bahamas can't pass on citizenship to them own children.
We had one jokey government halfway try to change it with a referendum in 2016, and 2 administrations since then ain't even bother.
I shocked you going back to live like that. What are you supposed to do with your own children if they ain't Bahamian?
Suffer. Luckily, Equality Bahamas been working on this issue, and I hear they ramping up for a full campaign.
Good. Y'all need action. The Bahamas like to play top class, but have all these old issues that the rest of the region done deal with a long time.
You right, we gotta get it together. Let me go online right now and tell my people share tiny.cc/nationality. We need the same rights as men to pass on citizenship to our children.
Yeah, get on our level.
You're a builder. You want to give your client the best material at the best prices, and you need to put food on the table. Well, check out these prices at Pinder Enterprises. 5/8 pressure-treated roofing ply starting at $36.68, includes VAT. By the way, all these prices include VAT. Gray Select Water Shield, $134.20 a roll. Felt, 15 pounds, $16.50, 30 pounds, $19.80. Owens Corning Duration Shingles and Certainty Landmark Shingles, $56.56 a bundle. Gallon Roof Cement, $33.47. When it comes to screwing and nailing, Pinder got you covered. He got every nail and screw you could possibly need.
Get ready to indulge in the freshest seafood in town. The Seafood Bistro is now open at East Street South Super Value Plaza. From juicy lobster tails to crispy conch and delicious snapper, our menu has something for everyone. Don't miss out on our irresistible flavors that will leave you craving more. Visit us today at East Street South Super Value Plaza and let us take your taste buds on an unforgettable journey. For more information, call 1-242-802-8800.
Hey man, long time.
Girl, what going on? I hear women in Bahamas can't pass on citizenship to them own children.
We had one jokey government halfway try to change it with the referendum in 2016, and 2 administrations since then ain't even bother.
I shocked you going back to live like that. What are you supposed to do with your own children if they ain't Bahamian?
Suffer. Luckily, Equality Bahamas been working on this issue, and I hear they ramping up for a full campaign.
Good. Y'all need action. The Bahamas like to play top class, but have all these old issues that the rest of the region done deal with a long time.
You right, we gotta get it together. Let me go online right now and tell my people share tiny.cc/nationality. We need the same rights as men to pass on citizenship to our children.
Yeah, get on our level.
Love the show? Want to give your support? Become a sponsor today. Call 302-2300 for our rates and packages. That's 302-2300. Become a sponsor on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Good morning and welcome back to On the Clock. Thank you, producer. Thank you, producer. I got a caller sitting right now. Let's go straight to the caller. Good morning. Good morning, caller. I'm sorry you waited through the break. Let's go. They're right back, producer. Good morning, caller. You there?
Along with you, Erin.
Hey, good morning, sir. How you do?
I'm always thank God.
Blessings.
What I want to say, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, rattlers, right?
Mm-hmm.
They love fresh water. So those people that live over there, they got to keep a fire light away from their house to keep them off, and they got to watch out for them when they go in the pond and stuff like that, when they go around the pond.
Okay.
The ponds and wells and stuff like that, any place that's fresh water, because that's what rattlers love. That's where they live.
Okay.
You see?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. What I heard about was when you go camping, you burn a circle around your tent, right? Because the snake ain't gonna cross over burnt ground. But typically, animals in the wild will avoid that space where fire once was. That's a technique as well. Here's a text. Hi, Erin. We often pay attention to the roaring lion, but it's usually the mice nibbling away bit by bit that eventually disrupt our peace and comfort. If we address the issue now, before it becomes a pandemic, we can find a solution through proactive measures rather than reactive ones. Another text. About that ad on Guardian about nationality. Good morning. Please make it clear that saying Bahamian women cannot pass on their Bahamian citizenship is not accurate. Unmarried men can also not pass on their citizenship if the child is born abroad. We leave out a part of the disenfranchised group when we word it that way. I'm a woman. well, I remember the ad. It says that they don't have equality in citizenship. See, the referendum was a gender equality referendum, right? And the questions were asking you if you think men and women should have the same rights to have their citizenship conveyed to their children born in another country, to a foreign spouse, to a child born outside of marriage, right? The ad is saying that women cannot pass it on in the same ways that men can. And what the clear example, men also, there are examples in which men cannot pass it on in the way that women can. So it was a gender equality between men and women. Should they have the same right to convey, or should they have the right to convey citizenship in the same way that a person of the opposite sex can have the state convey citizenship? Thank you for identifying yourself as a woman. Like you saying, as a woman and I disagree, so it's a stronger argument. No, thank you for contributing. Texas say, throw some juju around the yard and snakes gone. Don't do that. I don't think that's the right answer. Texter, I don't think that's the right answer at all. Okay, so let's go to the newspaper. I had some headlines from yesterday. PLP makes ready for next election. But first of all, I think it's a bit of a fluff article. And second of all, they could not be serious. Both parties appear to be moving into campaign mode. But neither party left campaign mode. They never shifted into governance gear. A few months ago, the FNM launched a training course, the FNM Candidates Academy for all aspiring candidates. You know what helps? Let me tell you what helps. If you create a Candidates Academy, right, a training course, the public who are going to assess the quality of your candidates really should have access to the training material so that we could determine whether they hit the criteria required not just to be a candidate for the specific party, but to be a representative for the electorate. The same thing goes to the PLP. You have a training program, nobody knows what's in it. Fortunately for us, we've seen what's not in it through the progression of this Davis Cooper administration. There's obviously no sessions on Public Disclosure Act at all. But I told you I wanted to talk about Hurricane Oscar. Hurricane Oscar passed through the Caribbean a couple of days ago. I want to pull up the article, and here's why. Because, like I say, I appreciate the urgency in the caller's voice wanting to talk about a particular issue which he himself could not clearly define, which highlights the sensitive nature of the subject. I think the story about a potential rattlesnake in Hub Island is important. As important as the story about Hurricane Oscar hitting Cuba. I have an article here. Cuba, small possibility of tsunami waves as magnitude 6.8 earthquake occurs south of Santiago de Cuba and Granma provinces at around 11:49. I imagine that's a.m. Let's go to the phone line on November 10th. Good morning, caller. Call back, caller. You're only there for 3 seconds. I mean, maybe 15, but call back. A magnitude 6.8 offshore earthquake occurred south of Cuba's Santiago de Cuba and Granma provinces at around 11:49 November 10th. The epicenter was about 39 kilometers south of Bartolome Maso, Cuba. The tremor occurred at a depth of about 24 kilometers, and moderate to strong shaking was probably felt in parts of eastern Cuba near the epicenter. Let's go to the phone line, producer. Good morning, caller.
Erin?
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Yeah, I wanted to leave a number with your producer for you.
Okay. He's ready to take the call right now. There you go. Light shaking may have also been felt in parts of Jamaica. There have been no initial reports of damage or casualties as a result of the earthquake. However, consequent damage and casualties are possible, especially in areas near the epicenter. The U.S. National Weather Service's Pacific Tsunami Warning Center did not immediately issue a tsunami warning for the Temblor, saying that, quote, there is no significant tsunami threat from this earthquake, close quotes. However, it added that, quote, there is a very small possibility of tsunami waves along coasts located near the epicenter, close quotes. Okay, so watch this. The connection between between this earthquake in Cuba, and passage of Hurricane Oscar, and rattlesnakes in Harbor Island is, do we have an emergency plan for either of these incidents, right? These naturally occurring incidents. Do we have a tsunami plan? And before you say, Erin, we ain't never had a tsunami, so why we need a plan? Because we live in a zone where tsunamis are possible. But I can show you a why. We have had tornadoes and we still don't have a tornado plan. We've had tornadoes, and I haven't seen the publication of any information about what we're supposed to do if we are faced with a tornado in our path. Will we begin a system to give tornado warnings? Has the fact that we now need tornado shelters prompted us to understand that we now need dedicated hurricane shelters too? And what are we going to do? Let's go to the phone line, producer. What are we going to do if a tsunami warning is given for the southeastern territory of the Bahamas? Good morning, caller.
Morning. How you doing, Erin?
I'm good, thank you. How you do?
Good. Well, have you heard about the two planes that were shot at trying to land in Haiti?
Spirit Airline?
Spirit and Delta.
No, I only heard about Spirit Airline. Now it's two.
I wonder what them people trying to prove down there.
I mean, what you mean?
Why? And you should see the bullet holes going through the plane.
They're huge, like military artillery, not somebody with a pew-pew on the side of the road shooting into the air.
Looking for help. When they get ready and settle down, now they can be looking for help.
I mean, when you say they can be looking for help, who tell you they're looking for help? Because everything I'm hearing from our cousins on the ground in Haiti is that we don't want your foreign aid. And your help, with the way that you help us, is by stepping back and letting us tell you what we need, and then you giving us what we need. Right? Like, but I appreciate what you're saying. When you're in a space of turmoil like that, maybe you shouldn't be shooting planes out the air or shooting in a fly zone, right? But as far as I know, the Haitian people are like, no, we don't really want your help. Not that type of help anyway. Okay, so that was also a big story. Spirit Airline and now Delta Airlines shot at. I think it's a really good example of how political narratives can kind of obfuscate what's actually happening, right? Because if you listen to the mainstream media about the governance journey, I think they just changed the transitional leader, that you would think everything is running smoothly. But we know that it is not. Here's another text. Wasn't it Hiram Lewis who told us after Dorian that the newly formed disaster management agency had created a plan for, quote, every possible disaster scenario? The texter says that's a direct quote. I mean, they may have, they may have created plans. They may have been horrible plans and they're going back to the drawing board. They may have the plan sitting in a desk somewhere and they don't feel the need to publish it. Right? On another note, I think they don't really understand what dissemination of information means, what public notices mean, what making things available to the public means, right? Because you don't just create a flyer and put it on Facebook. In fact, Facebook is a horrible mechanism for sharing government information. Because on most platforms, right, you use Facebook on a desktop, on a laptop, on a tablet, on a cell phone, right? Each platform, the website can look and operate differently. But with Facebook, it's difficult to track notices. So it's November and I'm looking for something that was posted in August. It's virtually impossible to find it. But you all really think we should accept that this is a means of disseminating government information to the public? Here's some more headlines. 200,000 needed to help those in need. Surge in people seeking basic assistance seen by Great Commission. I wonder how that impacts all the numbers. Guardian's headline, crimes $100 million hit to GDP. IDB Bahamas, fourth highest in region in cost impact of homicides. The Bahamas has the fourth highest impact on its GDP from homicides in the Latin America and Caribbean region, according to a recent study by the IADB. The study, which is based on data from 2022, found that homicides cost the country nearly 0.8% of its GDP. The Bahamas National Statistical Institute reported real GDP at $12.5 billion in 2022. That means a homicide cost of $100 million. So far this year, the Bahamas has recorded 105 murders. I see I got a caller flashing. It would be interesting to see how these costs were arrived at. Good morning, caller. Good morning, caller. You there?
Hello, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now, sir.
How you doing, Ms. Greene?
I'm good, thank you.
I just want to say, firstly, I suppose to say, I'm sorry to hear what's going on with Bremen. I hope Bremen get whatever situation sorted out, you know what I mean, so he can live in peace.
Mm-hmm.
You know, guy getting, you know what I mean, he's getting in trouble, and like a lady had said, to hear Bremen have to be calling and complaining all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And but what I want to say is, listening to you just now, it's the first time I heard about the aeroplanes being shot at in Haiti.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I noticed lately Haiti been in the news a lot.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of talks about Haiti.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever I see situations like that, Ms. Greene, whenever I see things happen like that, unless I see the individuals themselves do it, or the individuals themselves say they do it, who they blaming, I tend to say, well, it doesn't have to be them. You know what I mean? It could be someone who is just trying to set them up for some type of invasion. You understand where I'm coming from?
You mean like what people is called a false flag event? It happened.
You understand?
Right, it happened, but the real interrogation is who set it off.
Yeah,
who's behind it? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know what I mean? Like who exactly did it, et cetera, et cetera. Because like I said before, people have a way. They know exactly how to bias the public.
Shape
a narrative.
Shape the collective consciousness.
Yes, and they know exactly how to do it. They know exactly what it is, especially the American public. See, they ain't worrying about us. You know what I mean? They, you know, because if it's America that's gonna take some part in that or lead that, it's the American public that they have to convince. And all they have to do to convince the American public is just to say that American citizens' lives are in danger.
Well, here's what you do. You see if you could find the flight manifest for those flights and determine who was on the flight or if there was anybody on the plane outside of the staff. That's what you do.
But they're American airliners, right? I mean, they're American-owned companies?
FOIA, Freedom of Information Act, it works in the U.S.
Oh, yeah, I mean, and I said, I'm asking if the airlines that were shot at, they're American entity.
I think it's Spirit Airlines and Delta.
Yes, okay, all right.
But I was told Delta by a caller or a texter, Spirit Airlines. I saw the story myself.
All right, Mom. But like I said, you know, this is wondering because people were saying how Haiti was in the news a lot lately. You know,
oh, yeah. They just, okay, thank you.
You have a good day.
You too. Yeah, Haiti will continue to be in the news. Let's go to the next caller quickly. Good morning, caller. Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing, ma'am?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Wonderful. Miss Greene, first of all, I love how you balance drama and facts so that there's no mass panic in the country.
Yes, ma'am.
When you're listening to some people, you'll be like, oh my gosh, so do I pack my bags and leave the whole country? What do I do?
Mm-hmm.
I really appreciate that. But in terms of the environment, we're now talking about tornadoes and possible tsunamis.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I know many years ago we were warned as a country not to tear down all the marshlands. For example, Sandy Port was never supposed to have been built. And there are other projects coming where you're just taking away those protective
elements, natural elements, yeah.
Yes. And then we wonder why we have tornadoes, for example. Well, we wouldn't have them at that intensity or maybe not at all if we had protected those marshlands. So we have to look at our part in protecting the environment because they're set up there by God for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
So when we trample on those things, then situations like this will occur. So that's just something moving forward that I wish our government leaders would consider our environment.
Without a doubt. Absolutely. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you very, very much. And she's absolutely right. Right? This outcry is too late. The real protection from tsunamis was naturally occurring, and it is us who are destroying our safety mechanisms. I got a text there that says, Erin, if you were searching Facebook and you need to find something in August, Facebook allows you to filter for the month, etc. Thank you for that little tip. Facebook is still not supposed to be a primary source of dissemination of information for any government agencies. Lady Greene, great topic about hurricane and earthquake. An earthquake in the Windward Passage may or can disrupt life in the southern Bahamas. Lady Greene, did you give it the thought that this may be a Facebook government, so there is no record? Ooh. That's like a whole panel discussion. Thank you, Texas. Okay, we're closing out the show. See, this story about the IDB collecting data. And they have been able, or they have assessed that that homicides have cost us approximately, now this says that means a homicide cost of $100 million. The sentence, how it's written, I'm not sure if they're saying one homicide costs $100 million or for the period of the period of time that the data was collected within or from, that the homicides that occurred in that period of time cost a total of $100 million. Let's go to the phone line. I don't want to miss any callers today. My question is, have we done a study to determine the impact on GDP from traffic accidents and traffic fatalities? Because I have a feeling the number would be staggering, exponentially higher than the costs related to homicides. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Erin. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you, sir. How you doing?
Everything blessed up. Man, I was doing a little follow-up on something I hear you say yesterday.
Okay.
About, you say Douglas Smith. That's the guy.
No.
Doug who's called all the time on the show, the gentleman who say 67?
Yeah, I think so.
Run the marathons and
Yes.
But
Douglas
you wouldn't believe,
Stanford
Erin,
Store.
with the scene in Freeport.
Yeah.
With the Carey woman in the nose. I said, but I hear that gentleman voice for a little while, but he ain't touch on the topic. He's called Dwight Show, Howard Show, every show is, man. I want to send my deepest sympathy and condolence to his family, his children, because he always say he have grandchildren and this and that. He's 67. He never cheat on his wife and things and all that. He's called all the shows, man. I saying I hear his voice, you know.
And you know what?
All right, man. So sorry to hear that, man. And Erin, I can't wait till Friday to talk to you, boy. That's a big win last night. Big win.
Okay, we can talk.
All right, Erin.
Yeah, we can talk. And listen, this man, Douglas, he wanted to be a model. He wanted to be a light in somebody's world. He wanted to be a light in somebody's world. Okay, so what we need now is an IDB study to determine the impact on the GDP from traffic accidents, traffic fatalities, and the driving culture. I can tell you why. So y'all remember when we were revamping Village Road and everybody said, "Oh, the roundabout at Village Road, is to alleviate traffic at key school times, pick up and drop off in time and thing, right?" And I expounded that you could put a roundabout there, but it probably won't matter at all because it is the driving behavior and culture and attitudes that are the problem and not the public infrastructure itself. It turns out that I may have been correct. I am hearing more and more, not just reports, complaints, not just about the traffic, but the drivers and the attitude of the drivers at the QC roundabout. And primarily people going to pick up their children. Did you know that the roundabout could accommodate 2 lanes if you drive your car properly? So while the inner lane sort of backs up with people trying to get into the school, the outer lane allows traffic to flow clearly. It's also obvious that there are not sufficient lights in the area or signage to indicate to people that the road has changed. Because y'all just love breaking up BNT wall and breaking up the roundabout. Now, I am a QC alum. Deputy Head Girl 1992, I got a text that says, yes, they blocked both lanes at that QC roundabout. I graduated in 1992, 107 years ago. I could tell you, yeah, but that's PLP, man. And I could tell you, let's go to the caller. I could tell you, we have developed this cultural thing where the attitude is, I am spending too much money to care about your feelings, particularly when we're like in close proximity to the place where we spend a lot of money. Harbor Bay parking lot is another one of those spaces. Good morning, caller.
Morning, Erin, Greene. How are you?
I'm good, thank you, sir. How you do?
Yeah, so one of my boys called me. I was a little busy this morning and told me you had read something from Trevor Davis. But
yeah.
If we had done our due diligence and our engineers would do their due diligence, we would know that roundabouts were eliminated from places like the Americas because they truly don't work properly. Roundabouts don't work.
Okay.
So if we have engineers that do our due diligence, we would have known that roundabouts don't work because when that inner lane person trying to get to the outer lane, they cut across here. That roundabout at Brewer Road is a perfect example by Evan D. Fellas that shoot cross here, you in the outer lane to go on Tony Dallin Highway and hope someone shoot right cross here. Me and my wife used to count the time people shoot cross us in that way. So they don't really work.
So, cousin, okay, so here's what it is. They are aimed to slow down, they inherently slow down traffic, right? But it only works if people use them properly. Did you know you're supposed to use your turn signal on the roundabout to indicate what you're doing?
Listen to me.
Hold on, listen, no. You're supposed to use
ahead.
your turn signal. Now, if you come in, say you come in from Blue Hill Road north and you want to go to Tonique, so you go in, you were coming from the south, so you come in over the hill, right?
Yeah.
And you want to take the first exit to Tonique, right?
Yeah, that's the.
But if I am on the roundabout already, what you doing entering the roundabout while I on it?
But
See,
listen to me.
no, because you ain't supposed to enter the roundabout if I on it and I come in that way.
But that's one of the big major problems.
You cutting me off.
How to use them properly. But let's just say you coming over Blue Road North and you reach the roundabout, but the car still little ways back.
Right.
So you take the chance to go left.
But so watch this. Cool. Right. You take the chance to go left, but do you understand that you have to assess the speed on the roundabout? And when you take that chance, you got to pick up your speed. See, a lot of y'all enter the roundabout and then demand that everybody drop their speed to the speed of your car. When you enter the roundabout, you have to determine the speed already on the roundabout and whether you can clear the way before those cars get there.
Our cars can't even see.
That's what
roundabouts, because of the lineage, it don't work. Because you could come straight over and you could want to go around to go straight up Blue Hill Road, and then someone cut across you. It just ain't it don't work.
Listen, GNNN, let me show you a vibe. Yesterday, I'm so glad you bring this up because yesterday I watched a cabinet minister car on the six-legged roundabout, and when I tell you this cabinet minister car went to the fifth exit, it have 6 exits in the outer lane. In the outer lane. That's a cabinet minister.
Okay.
We entered from Farrington Road, right? And they want to they would go into social services. They entered the roundabout from the outer lane, which meant that they were either supposed to go up University Drive, or they were supposed to go to the business with the little offshoot, or they were supposed to go down the 2-lane highway. Not even that, right? You can't pass 4 exits to take the 5th exit from the outer lane.
Very great.
There's a couple of things going on. Drivers refuse to acknowledge that there are rules and they are required to follow them for things to work properly.
I want you and Louis, my boy, y'all work a roundabout for a week, and you tell me how feasible that roundabout is work with cutting costs and
No, I can tell you, I want to work the roundabout right now, but the country will hate me because all of y'all will be walking. I'll have y'all on a jitney so quick, your license revoked and you get retest. The amount of foolishness. Anyway, look here, let me go because I got another caller. I all out of time. It's 11:00 something.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
There's another text. Government needs to put out a tutorial in how to properly use roundabouts in ZNS for a whole year. Erin, don't you know those cabinet ministers don't have to follow laws? Do you know who they are? I don't know who they are. That's one thing I'm glad I don't know who they are. That way I could talk about what I see. GNN sounds like he needs training like a lot of other drivers. Yeah. We all need retraining, you know. In fact, that would be the best idea. Is that every 3 years you're required to retest. May be the best idea. But a lot of us need to operate within integrity and morality and say, I know that I am not prepared. I am not up to standard to drive this vehicle in the ways that I want to. And I need to either get better at driving or find an alternate means of transportation. Because you can't be on the road talking about, y'all know we can't see and y'all out here driving like that. You have already identified the problem. Anyway, caller, it was 11:04, I'm sorry. That's what my clock say. I can get fuss. Don't join the party. But stay tuned because Guardian Radio AM with C.A. Nuri is up next.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.